onto your computer. Okay, hello, welcome to week 4. Oh God, I keep forgetting my numbers. I'm like, what
Madness.
week are we? Welcome to week 4. Just as we're starting, girls, does someone just want to stick it in simple steps to success? Just remind everyone we're starting, just let them know, and
you do, Law.
The groups. So this week, God, we hold on, let's spotlight ourselves.
That's it, yeah.
Said that.
I'll put it. Are you doing it now? Sorry.
And spotlight and spotlight. Right, that is that better for everybody?
Hi, my internet's just dropped on my phone.
I'll do it. It's all right.
It's not letting me get into Facebook. It's always handy.
So I hope everyone's good. Welcome to week 4. This week, God, we've got lots to talk about. We literally are going to be talking about how to network. So this week, I think, is going to be that thing that we get asked all the time, how to grow your customer base. So get your pens ready, get your pencils ready, get your notebook ready, because we are about to go full steam ahead and show you some of the things that we do, some of the ways that we work. But we're also as well going to touch on some systems that we use. We're going to talk about partying. We're also going to talk about, Laura can't wait to party. And then we're also going to talk a little bit on time management and some systems. So we literally, it is packed, and we're going to try and get this into an hour. Okay, we're going to try. We're going to do our best, because it has been quite there. We have been talking quite a lot recently. So we didn't work out, girls, who is kicking off.
No, I know, we didn't say, did we?
We didn't decide on that, did we? So
you want me to go first? I don't think I've been first yet. Yeah. I'm happy to do that. Right. Okay, so I am going to talk to you about, thanks to Boris last night.
I was just going to say, Laura can't wait to talk about parties.
What's that?
You can't wait to talk about parties.
Oh, I can't wait. I literally, I'm like, I don't know who I said it to today. I was talking to someone today, and I said, it's not a roadmap. I said, you need to, like, I don't like motorbikes, so I'm not going to talk, not say I'm on my motorbike, but you need to, like, get in your flipping Lamborghini and, like, plan to shoot out of here. We're not, like, dawdling down the road. We're running out of here. So, we now, as of yesterday, have a plan. Well, you can start filling your diaries with coffee mornings, with meeting outside cafes, with meeting people in parks. There is absolutely zero reason anymore to go, oh, well, I can't do parties. Yeah, you can soon, in some way, shape or form. So they may only be provisional. I know these dates are provisional, but they're more than we've had for a year. So we are going to cover online parties as well. Whoop, whoop. Una's given us some whoop whoops in the comments. I love it. So I know they're on a provisional, but we are going to talk about online parties as well. I'm not saying that online parties should stop, because obviously if somebody doesn't live near you, then that's a little bit different. You know, even pre-COVID days, we all did online parties occasionally. It's just obviously we've had to fully go over to doing that, you know, for the last year. But now we have options. We have options that we can give to people. And 100%, this is how I built my business. Like, personally, I'm very much like, if you listen to my when, oh my God, Deb Burden surprised me when I ended not shooting star. What did I seriously? Take a breath. What's that called? Shining Star.
Shining Star.
So when Deb surprised me on that call, that's what she wanted me to talk about, like how I'd kind of built my business. And that is totally what I said on that recording. I just started partying. Like, I had no huge plan. I just had these products in front of me that I absolutely loved, was already telling people about them. And I literally just went, who wants party? Who wants party? Do you want me to come around and talk to you about Scentsy? Let me come and show you these products. And I was literally not even exaggerating. I'm trying to think if it's in here. I found one of my old diaries the other day, and literally it was like Tuesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, the next week, Sunday night, Wednesday night, any night, it didn't matter. I was literally partying like a crazy person. And from each of them parties, they were seeing what that hostess was getting. And then they were like, I want a bit of that pie. I want a bit of that freebies. So I 100% built my business on parties. So there's literally, if you haven't experienced it, and then if you've joined in the last year, it's such an amazing, I don't want to say there's nothing better, because it's a different experience than partying online. Very clearly, we've proved we can do it online. But it's just such a great feeling to have people in a room with all your little scent pots, and everyone's like chatting, and what this is what they do, right? They'll get in their little crowds of people they know, and they'll get the little scent pots and they'll start smelling, and I'll start talking about another one, and then they go, well, I haven't seen that. And people will have like a little stash like that, and they're like, no, these are mine, you can't have these back. They get like really protective over them. But it's a really like relaxed, calm, chilled out, fun environment. And people might do, and you know, everybody's business is their own to run as they wish, and people are all going to do it in their own way, but I can only share the way that I do parties. And when I because people might say, oh, I can't party, I can't talk about this, I can't stand up and do a big speech. When I do my Scentsy parties, from the day I started to the day I could do my last one, I kept the structure exactly the same. I would literally, when I get there, I'd say to people, if you've been to like a direct sales type party before, this will be nothing like that, because I literally want to keep them so relaxed, so chilled out. People don't want to sit there and listen to me talking for an hour. They want to start smelling what you've got in front of you. So I'm just going to run through really briefly, and these girls might do their parties like a little bit differently. So when I finish, I'm sure they can quickly hop on with what they do with theirs, but I keep it really, really simple. So I literally like say to the hostess, obviously, literally, you know, invite your friends round, invite the girls round. I feel more confident. Yeah, being in the room. So Lisa Coxall, that's actually a really good example, because obviously I did a party for you as your consultant, and then I also came around and like sat in the background while you did your own party in your home, and you were amazing. And Lisa as well, like you were just relaxed, chatting, like, you know, you got to think these people, they're just there with their friends, they're just having a drink, having a coffee, whatever they're doing. And I literally would turn up, set my stuff out, and just think about this as well. Some people might say like, oh, I can't party because I haven't got enough stuff to show them. You don't have to have every single product in the catalogue. In fact, it's better that you don't have every single thing in the catalogue, because then you'd be inclined to talk about every single thing that's there. So I would literally like turn up, put my display out, obviously with the things that were in my kit. I used to, in the early days, and again, people might do this, I used to put everything in like in scent families and in colours, and if I've got the time I might do that, but if you haven't got the time, like, don't worry about it, because after like 5 minutes, once everyone starts smelling, all the pots get mixed up and stuff anyway. So I literally would like get there, set all my stuff up, chat to the hostess, everyone starts arriving, and I've got a script which I will share in the group afterwards, which I didn't write, I found it on Google. And it's called the Scentsy Story Game, and there's loads of stuff online if you can have a look. And I didn't want to go and be doing that loads of games and making everyone feel like they had to get involved with loads of stuff. Other people might do it differently, but I will just share what sorry, don't look at the comments. I'll come back to the comments, because otherwise I'll like lose my train of thought. But I wanted everyone just to feel relaxed and not like under pressure. So I literally printed off this thing I found on Google called the Scentsy Story Game. And basically I would take a couple of samples along and say to like, get them to kind of either sit in a circle, or if they're stood around an island in a kitchen or something, I give one to one person over here and one to one person over here. And then as I read through the script, I haven't got it, it's in a box from when we moved, but it basically...
I've actually got it, Laura, I think on my phone, if you want me to find it.
Oh, have you?
I totally use it as well. Laura done it at my party, and I was like, yes, I love that. When I joined, I was totally doing that.
I think everyone's used it now. But it's just so simple, and basically it kind of does your introduction for you, because do you know what, actually I could probably find it on my email, because I've probably sent it to
I'll try and find it, Laura, and if I have, I'll ping it over to you.
Thank you. So it basically talks through the history of Scentsy, like about the product, about the safety aspect. It talks through all this, but basically every single time it's written, so every single time you say the word scent or Scentsy, these people pass these samples along to the person on their left or their right, whichever. And then obviously towards the end, you're saying Scentsy a lot, and people are like passing it along, and then they're all laughing, and then at the end, basically, people could have a sample, or sometimes I might give out a couple of scent circles or whatever you've got. Not something massive, but just something that somebody can take away. And then by the end, everyone's having a laugh because I've said Scentsy 5 million times. And it just breaks the ice a little bit. And that's it. That's all I kind of do, is I'll do that a little bit of an icebreaker, and I'll just say, look, you know, you've heard a little bit about the history of the company here and about the safety aspect. What I then do is I'll talk briefly about the warmers, about the safety aspect. And then I'll say, look, you don't want to be here listening to me talk all night about every single product. Let's get sniffing, and I'm here to just have a chat with you, and that's kind of it. And then everybody just starts having a smell, and then I'll go around and I'll just start chatting to people. And that's pretty much it. Like, and then the evening just goes like that. And then people after a while will just start coming up to you and start asking you about different products, and you can talk to them. When I say I don't really do a big spiel, obviously if I've got like some washer whiffs, I'll say, you know, we do the laundry products, we do this. I'll kind of lean briefly to a few different product lines. But what I'm saying is I don't stand there for an hour and go, this is this and this is this and this is, because otherwise people are just going to switch off, like they're not interested, they just want to start smelling them. Then you can talk to them as you go around. I do always reference, let me get a catalogue. I always say to people, I've got one in here, as you're smelling, I always reference the stickers stuck to that. In the back of the catalogue, you've obviously got your chart, which Lisa talked about the previous week when we were sampling. So I'll always reference that they've got this chart to use as a point of reference. So when if there's a product they're interested in, they can see a scent that they're interested in, sorry. I always say every scent comes in the wax, and then I'll reference that they can see which other products come in which scent. And I'll always let them know, obviously, about the bundle and save deals as well. Let them know that if there are products that they're interested in, then there's probably a bundle and save deal that we can work with them to get them a better deal. Upselling, you know, they might not have known about that if you hadn't mentioned it. And then pretty much from there on in, just let them start having a whiff, and then the evening just flows. And honestly, I have had some of the best nights Scentsy partying. I've never been to any party like this before. But the thing is, in answer to that question, there is no rule of how they're meant to be. There's no textbook, this is how you do a Scentsy party. You do a Scentsy party. I've known of other consultants that they do games, and they put, I can't remember exactly how she did it, but it was at Nick's house, Lace, when Zoe puts things on the floor and that's fine if that's what, but you have to do, ultimately you have to be comfortable with what you're doing. So if turning up with your kit, playing a little icebreaker and then chatting to people on that, that's what works for me, because it has to be. And also you have to think about this, there's people in that room that are do I give out lots of samples to the guests? No. In all honesty, like the ones what they get at the beginning in the game, no, that's all I do. I'm trying to think if I do. No, it feels like so long since I've done a party.
The last few parties that I did party bags. So I made up very small sample packs that were like a paper bag that had a few samples in and a product sheet and some sweets.
But I was just going to say, that's not to say I wouldn't do that in future, because you got to think, it's a year since I've partied now. Like, I'm going to pick up tips from other people. So there's no like blueprint. This is what you have to do. This is what you don't have to do. You know, when I start going out again, like maybe I would do that. There's probably stuff I do now, like that's evolved in my business over a year. So yeah, that's a really.
No, just say I mean, again, each of their own. The reason I don't is I had it was an open house, or I can't remember what it was, but I had something here and I had some new people that hadn't tried it before come. And because I had made up sample packs, instead of them buying a warmer and their first bundle of wax, they were like, oh, well, I'll just try all these samples and then I'll let you know like what waxes I like. Whereas when I've done parties before and there are no samples, they obviously are buying their warmer and then want wax to go alongside it. And then I can upsell them to the bundle of the 3 bars and the warmer. Whereas if I gave them sample packs, I just naturally, I'd probably be that person that would go, well, to be fair, I'll try these 8 samples you've given me and see what I like, and then I'll decide whether to order. But I suppose it depends.
Oh, maybe you could give them a sample pack once they've given you their order form.
Yes.
You normally, and that is a really good way to be like, everyone that orders will get a little one of these.
Yes.
Because on the night, although we can't do that in, say, publicly, on the night, that's like a personal special, like giving out some free samples. Everyone that orders will get a little sample pack. Great way to entice people into ordering. They don't know that they're getting sweets and a few samples.
It's just the little extras, isn't it? And what I was just going to say was the whole idea of keeping it simple is that there are potential team members in that room, and this is something else that's just come to me. So they don't want to see you walking in with 500 bags and it's taking you an hour to set up, and it takes you, because they're just going to sit there and think, oh, I don't want to do that. They're just, our business is fun and it's enjoyable, and I don't want to say it's easy, but it's simple, simple success. The names on what is it? It does what it says on the tin or something. My brain's like going to sleep tonight. I was just going to say something else about partying. Oh God, I don't know. It'll come back to me. But yeah, so keeping it simple because oh yeah, that was it. Because you've always got potential team members in the room, and this is why if you book a party with somebody, right? If I booked a party with somebody, and this is just something I've learned over time, and people will go, you'll speak to your hostess, and you know, obviously you'll catch up with them in the week, and they'll say, oh, I don't know if you want to come. I've only got 3 people coming. If there is only me and that hostess and one other person in that room, I am going to that party, because that hostess or that other person in that room could be your next rock star teamie that could literally blow up your business, and you could like have somebody that you're going to like thrive off for the rest of your Scentsy career. Like, you never know. Every single time you step out of your front door or you have a conversation with people, it is a potential customer, team member. Who knows what's going to happen. So
do you remember that party, Law? I had, like, talking about that. Do you remember that one? And I said, there's only going to be 3 people there. I walked away with an £800 order. Yeah. An £800 party for and it was so intimate, and they spent fortunes.
And that's what I was just going to say. I honestly now, after obviously a while, I've done parties with 25 people. I've done parties with 4 people. And it doesn't, that number has got nothing to do with the amount of sales you will get. Because sometimes, like you said, when there's less people, you know, you can spend more time talking to them. You can give them that extra service. So don't ever be put off if you do a party and you think, oh, there's only going to be a few people there, because opportunity is literally everywhere. So that's, I think, all I was going to say on that. What I was going to say was I printed off the roadmap out of lockdown. So obviously just a few ideas. So you could literally now, I know it's only going to be provisional dates, but you could be contacting people that said that they would be interested in Scentsy. I'm certainly going to be doing this, be interested in parties and stuff. So you got to think from, obviously not from the 8th of March when the kids go back, from the 29th of March, you can meet somebody, which you could have kind of done this before, but officially now, obviously, you can meet, from the 29th of March, 6 people can meet outside. So you could meet, if you had a small group of friends that wanted to meet, like you and 5 other people, you could meet them in their garden or in a park or outside. All right, not a cafe, because the cafe isn't open yet, but you could meet once it's the rule of 6, you could meet just to have a little sniff session. You know, from the 8th of March, 2 people can sit together outdoors. So again, I know, like I said, it was for exercise before, but you could meet somebody that's wanting to have a little sniffy or sniff pots, what's Costa or wherever your nearest takeaway coffee place is, and sit on a bench fully within the rules, and have a little sniff of your Scentsy pots. And then obviously from the 12th of April, that's the same outside, but hospitality is going to be open outdoors. So that's where you can meet people in a cafe. You know, you can meet people. So you got to think, just like Nero's, there is, you've probably all seen it on my Instagram, and Kirsty Graham, I know you certainly know about this, and Lise. There's a cafe not far from us called Cafe 11. I did loads of my business there. So from that day, you know, I can meet 5 other people, sit outside, have a coffee, have a milkshake, have a breakfast, whatever you want to do, and have a little sniff session. So there is so much opportunity. And then obviously from the 17th of May, which sounds ages, but it's actually really not. Like, you got to think we're in March next week. Then 6 people can meet indoors. So again, you could have a small gathering. So don't think, oh, you know, all these, as it says here, all legal limits on social contacts are not till the 21st of June. Yeah, all right, that's when you can't have like a huge gathering. But there are so many opportunities over the coming months to actually get them with pots under people's noses. And honestly, there's nothing like it. When people smell it, they're like, oh my God, that's amazing, that's amazing, that's amazing. So if you've never had that experience, just take a little look at the, you know, the dates going forward. And I know they're provisional, but, you know, just put it out into the universe, manifest that shiz. It's going to happen. So use this opportunity to start filling your diary up and reaching out to people that have said that, you know, when lockdown's over, well, it's going to be over soon. So we can use this opportunity. So I'm going to stop talking because it's 8 to 9 and I've done my bit and I don't want us to run over an hour. So thank you very much. Oh, did you find that?
I've pinged that over to you, Law. I'm just going to say, I didn't see whose name it was. It just said in terms of the rule of 6, and you've got 6 kids, so you obviously couldn't have a party. What you could do, though, if you obviously have people that are interested, is you can create a party in a bag, and you can say, right, get 5 of your friends together in your garden, not your garden if you've got your 6 kids there, but in your, whoever it is, they can have their own little party with their 6 friends in their garden with your bag and your smelly pots and some warmers and some products to show. You don't have to be there. They can have that party. You can give them their order forms, tell them the rewards they're going to get from doing that, and they could keep that for a week, and they could then have 6 friends around the following day and 6 rounds of friends around the following day. There's always ways to get around that.
Where there is a will, there is a way.
Exactly.
Okay, so the Scentsy story game, I'm not going to read you the whole thing because it's quite long, but this is just to give you an idea. So you got to think there's people in a circle, each one of them's got a sample or a scent circle or something like this, or a sample pack. And I will start with Scentsy. Is a fairly new company, and it was started in Utah in July 2003 by Colette Gunnell and Cara Egan. Colette and Cara were 2 stay-at-home mums looking for a safer alternative to candles. After some research and investigation, Scentsy was born. So they would pass that round to the next person. As it gets like down towards the end, hang on, it's like you can have all the Scentsy warmers, pass it on, and highly scented candle bars you want, pass it on, by simply booking a sensational pass it on Scentsy party, pass it on. So you get the idea. So by the end, they're like speeding up and everyone's like, oh.
Can I just say as well, having experienced this from when I was a customer of Laura's and she'd done a party at mine, well, it might just be me and my mum because we're really competitive people, but people do get competitive and they're like, give me that wax. They're like passing it round, and then I am just super competitive and I don't like losing. So it probably was just me, but it created that buzz and everyone was laughing, and then everyone starts to get involved. I can post it in the simple steps if you want, actually. I've just suddenly thought I've obviously got the document, so I can post it there so then everyone can see the whole thing for when they do party.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Right, guys, that is me done on physical parties and the possibility, the fact that we are going to start being able to do them soon. So amazing. Thank you.
Shall I go on, Liz? Did you want to go next, or shall I lead on to online parties?
It might make sense for you to go.
Yeah, that's what I just suddenly thought. Okay, because I've also seen a few people in the comments going, can we talk about online parties? So obviously, like Laura said, like this is amazing that obviously we're going to be able to get back to some type of party, and we're going to be able to meet with people, and we're going to get back to some kind of normality. However, even though we will be able to start partying in person, I really want to talk about online parties, because in the last year, online parties have totally changed my business, And if anything, I'm not going to say that's what's got me to Superstar Directory, it hasn't, but that definitely is a catalyst, because I think it opened my eyes to actually where your business can go if you think outside the box and you throw yourself into something, you can get over any fears that you might have. So at this time last year, we were just about to start going into a lockdown, weren't we? Well, no, March time. Was it March? Yeah, around kind of March time. And I had never done an online party, ever. I hadn't even suggested it really to people. It just wasn't something that was on my radar. The reason I'd never done one is because it was something I hadn't done before. So I just told myself I didn't know how to do one. So I'm not going to do one because I'm not sure, and it scares the living daylights out of me. So I'm not going to do it. And then lockdown obviously hit, and we all had that whole, oh my God, like what's going to happen to our business? And I thought, right, do you know what? I need to pull up my big girl pants here, because if I want my business to still thrive, I've got to get over myself, and I've got to get over those fear of doing something like that. And so I booked my first online party. It was with a friend, and we had spoken so many times about her having a physical party, but she's a police officer and shifts and stuff. It was just never working. We've been talking for about 6 months or so about booking one, and it wasn't working from a timescale perspective. So I put it out to her and said, oh, would you want an online party? Kind of thinking in the back of my head, she'd go, no, because I'm too busy. And she said, yes. And I was like, okay, no, I don't know what I'm going to do. And so I then took some time, and we're very, very fortunate that the lovely Wendy within our team, and I totally credit this to Wendy that's in my team, had done some online parties before, and she had kindly done some online party training within our team group, and it was just golden. It was just absolutely incredible training. And I sat and I watched that, and I went through all of the ideas that she gave and all of the tips that she made, and I made it my own. And I thought, okay, I'm going to take what she's done, and I'm not going to carbon copy, because we're similar people but also very different, and we do things differently, so I can't carbon copy. So I sat and I watched that training. It came to the day of the party training, and I'm going to be totally honest, I wasn't feeling great, and I was kind of chickening out. And I remember sending Laura a voice note going, Laura, I don't feel well, and oh, I think I'm just going to cancel this party, rah rah rah. I wasn't feeling great, but equally I was feeling a little bit fearful, which is probably how lots of you feel when you have the thought of going live or have the thought of booking parties. You have that fear that sets in, and you think it's easier just to not do it than get over that fear. But I was like, no, do you know what? I'm just going to pull my big girl pants up, and I'm just going to do it. And literally that night was a pivotal point in my business. It totally changed my business. I came off of that online party with £500 worth of orders, another online party booked, and it started then what became a quick succession of party after party after party after party, which was then allowing me to get really high PRV that I'd never had before. And it just suddenly made me realize that actually throwing myself into something and forcing myself to learn something could change my business. So ever since then, I love to shout about online parties from the rooftop, because I think it is a very simple way to connect with lots of other people, to gain new customers, to gain new team members, and to skyrocket your PRV in a really simple way. An online party, like, I love partying in real life. Like, don't get me wrong, I really do. But obviously, when you are partying in real life, you've got to pack up all your stuff, and you've obviously got to travel to where you're going, and then you've got to unpack all your stuff, and then you're obviously with them for 2-3 hours and pack your stuff up again and then drive home. And it's wonderful, and I love it, and I can't wait to do it. I suddenly realized doing an online party, all my stuff is here in my home. It took me 5 minutes to put my warmers out. The online party itself would be about an hour, and then I'd finish, and then I'd walk then out of my office, which I don't currently have because it's a building site, but I will have again soon. Walk out of my office, sit down with a cup of tea, done. And the orders would just start rolling in. And I suddenly thought, yes, I can't wait to get back to partying, but actually I could do 7, 8, 9, 10, however many online parties I want a week. I physically couldn't do that with going out to party. And so it's something that I really feel that people need to start getting over that fear and building into their business. So the first thing I would say when it comes to an online party is get over that fear. No matter how scared you are of it, I can guarantee you that feeling of once you've done your first online party and you get those orders, that feeling will far outweigh that fear that you had of not doing it. And once you've done one, it's like doing anything. Once you do your first live, it suddenly becomes easier. Once you do your first real life party, it becomes easier. All of these things, once you actually just get over that, it suddenly becomes easier. So the first point in terms of getting an online party is just to ask. Same as getting any other party, you just have to ask. You can't say, well, I can't get any parties. Yes, you can. You just need to ask. You need to ask enough people. Asking 2 or 3 of your customers if they want a party isn't really asking. I've asked multiple people in my customer group if they want parties. 20 of them might have said no, but then 2 might have said yes. And those 2 that might have said yes may have bought in 500 PRV each and has given me 1,000 PRV in 2 days. So just get over the fear of asking people and just ask. I think we feel comfortable with asking people if they want to buy something, but we don't feel comfortable asking people if they want a party. But the way I look at it, and I say to my customers, well, do you want your stuff for free? Well, yeah, of course I want my stuff for free. We'll have a party then. Like, you're sitting at home and you're not doing anything, so just watch me talk at you for an hour. You've not got to do, and that's what I say to my customers. I'm like, would you, if a customer's ordering something, like say someone wants a Nova, I'm like, hun, do you want your Nova for half price? And obviously they're going to go, well, yeah, how? Well, just invite some friends, sit with a cup of tea or a glass of wine and watch me. I'll just talk at you all for half an hour and you can get your Nova for half price. And then they're like, well, is it that easy? And I'm like, yeah, literally, it's that easy. That plants a seed in their mind. And then when they're like, okay, great, yeah, I'll book it. What do I need to do? I do all of my online parties on Facebook. People do it differently. Some people do Zoom. People have done it in different ways. I personally, because I'm going to tell you the format of what I do, so it works for me doing it on Facebook. So I tell my customer to create the event. The reason I tell them to create the event is because if I'm creating the event and I'm inviting people to this event and they don't know me, they're probably going to ignore it. Whereas if their best friend has created the event and is sending them an invite, they're more likely to accept the invitation. So I tell them to create the event and then say, all you need to do is create it, invite your friends, I'll do the rest. Once they've then created that event, about a week leading up to that, the week before, I then start posting. So I'll post a picture of what Scentsy is, I introduce myself, I get them excited, I like welcome them all to the party page, etc., etc. I don't spam it, I don't post 3-4 things a day, I don't post about everything that we do. I literally do 1 post a day for the 7 days leading up to the party, just to start building a bit of a relationship with them, get some of them involved, give them an idea of what Scentsy is, but not too much, because I don't want to not have stuff to say to them on the night. So I just feed a little bit of information into kind of what we are and what we do. So I post daily for the week before, not salesy or anything else, just some real life images about what Scentsy is, etc., etc. Then on the day of the party, that's the only day I'll do a couple more posts. So I'll do a kind of good morning post. I'm really looking forward to seeing you all tonight. And then about 10 minutes before, I'll message the party host saying, just remind them all, obviously it's in 10 minutes, blah, blah, blah. And I do another quick post, see you all soon. Then when it actually comes to the party, my little format that I do is I do the Facebook Live. I come off, I'll tell you what I do, but I come off the live and then I do some pictures and then I come back onto the live. Now, this is the way that I do it. This isn't to say this is how everyone else has to do it, but this is kind of what works for me. I don't do games. And again, it's not to say you shouldn't do games, but I'm not that person. I'm just not comfortable with doing games. It's the same when I party in real life, like Laura was saying, like loads of people do games and take my hat off to people that do it, but I'm just not that person. I don't know, it just makes me cringe a little inside for myself when I'm trying to do a game, because I don't want to seem false, because like I was saying last week, you've got to be authentic because people can see through you if you're not. And if I was trying to be this person like, oh, let's do a game, they'd be like, no, this looks awkward. And so I don't do it. So I don't do that at all. And it hasn't affected, people say to me, well, do people get bored? In situations that I've had, no, and I'll tell you why I feel they don't get bored in a minute. But if you feel that you need to do that game, then great, crack on and do your game. You've got to do what works for you. How I begin when I first come onto the live is I obviously welcome everyone. It's very casual, and I almost treat it like I'm having a catch up with my friends. Even if I don't really know them, there generally will be 2 or 3 people that are watching that I know. And so I try to make myself quite personable, and I will be waiting for everyone to jump on, and I'll be, oh, how's the kids, or how's homeschooling? Just try and make it quite casual, because I don't want to be, oh, this is the Scentsy lady, she's just going to talk to us about Scentsy, because straight away it becomes salesy, like you're just trying to sell to them. So I actually am just very casual, and I'm not talking Scentsy at all for the first 5 minutes. Once then everyone's there and we've had a quick kind of catch up and they've all said hi to each other. Obviously, I say they send hi to each other. Obviously, they're just looking at me, but obviously they can type messages on there. I have sometimes thought, should I do Zoom, because then people can interact? But because I do the posting and the images, for me, Zoom doesn't work. So they can just interact and talk on the messages. So yeah, anyway, so I then start to talk about Scentsy, but it's very, very, very brief. And the reason it's very brief is I know full well, if I was on an online party for any other network marketing company, whatever it is that they're selling, no matter how interested I was in buying these products, let's take Tropic. I'm going to say Tropic because my best friend does Tropic. If I was on an online party for Tropic and they started talking the Tropic spiel at me for 15 minutes, I'd be like, oh, I literally don't care. Like, no matter how much I love my friend or I love the products, I don't really care where Tropic came from. I don't really care that Tropic has been around for X amount of years. Like, for me personally, it would just make me switch off. So I talk about Scentsy, but I condense it. So I quickly say where they came from. I quickly say it was set up by 2 stay-at-home mums, and I quickly say obviously what they're about and the whole thing about that it's safe, etc., etc. And I wrap it up very quickly so they know what it is, they know what it's about, they know why I love it, and then we move on. Because again, sorry, Hum.
No, I was just going to say, don't confuse that with what we were just saying about, because the Scentsy Story game
is totally different.
You're in a room, obviously. Laura's referencing online parties. I don't, because people like just said you talked about that.
No, yeah, completely, yeah. Because the difference with that Scentsy Story game is you're playing a game, you're in that environment, you're passing the match around, so you're capturing their attention. But when someone's just watching you on a screen and they don't know you, it is very hard for people to keep their engagement with you. And if you talk at someone for a really long time, no matter how interesting you might think you are, people will lose interest. And I know that because I've been on a Zoom before for another network marketing, and I'm not going to say who it was, but I switched off. I totally switched off, and I wanted to watch, but I switched off. So you've got, when you're doing it online, you've got to think they are just staring at you. So you need to be interesting. And if you're just talking for 25 minutes about the background of Scentsy, they will have lost interest. So I keep it quite short and condensed and sweet. I then literally say to them, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you about some of the products we do, and then I'm going to come off and post some pictures. And the first thing that I do, and I think this is really, really important, I'm not going to talk about everything I do because I'll be talking forever, but the first thing that I do is I show them a fragrance flower, because everyone's thinking that's got their preconceptions about Scentsy is like, oh, it's really expensive. Oh, she's going to show us warmers at like £70. And there are people that think that straight away. So I then come out with this fragrance flower. And let's be honest, nobody dislikes the fragrance flower. Everyone likes it. Everyone thinks it's genius. Everyone thinks it's pretty. And everyone's like, oh my God, that's a really good idea. I've already also prompted the host to say, look, when I'm talking about stuff, just engage a little bit and comment a little bit. So the host will be writing on there going, oh my God, I love my fragrance flower. I've got sea salt one, it's amazing. So her friends are seeing her write all of this. They're like loving it because it's cute and it's portable, etc., etc. And then I say, oh, and it's 1950, and people are like, oh, totally thought Scentsy was expensive. That's not expensive. And all of a sudden they kind of click in and they're like, okay, I want to listen a little bit more. Whereas if I'd gone, oh, okay, so this is Scentsy, right? This is our first warmer and it's £71. People will go, oh, great. And you lose people straight away, because people that thought, oh, my limit was £40, they then switch off before you've showed them anything else. So I always start with the fragrance flower, and that ties them in, and then they're interested to hear a little bit more. I then literally have my warmers displayed, and I then go and start showing them some of my warmers. And I only really show the Illuminate, the Nova, the Crushed Diamond, and the beautiful ones, because they've heard me say this is only 1950. And then they're like, oh my God, they're absolutely beautiful. When you're showing like the ones that capture everyone's attentions, and everyone starts commenting, that's beautiful. Oh my God, look, it's really sparkly. I like to turn the lights off and show them what it looks like. And I just engage with them and chat to them. And I say to them, well, what do you think? And I get them talking, and the host will then start saying, oh, that's the one that I had my eye on. As soon as you've captured their attention, all those people that were sitting on the fence then start to engage a little bit more and start to be interested and start to look and everything like that. So I literally then just show them some of the warmers, show them what they do, show them like how you turn them on and off, how you change the wax, etc., etc. Like, again, I'm not going to go through it all. You do you in terms of how you show stuff, but I just kind of display it and show it. I then basically say to them, I'm going to come off the live and I'm going to start posting. Now, I think this is really important. I come off my live, and on my phone, I'm not going to show you, but on my phone, I have in my notes, I have heading online parties, and I literally have every single one of my things written down for every single warmer. I then have an album in my phone that says online parties, and it has all of the warmers that will go with all of the notes. So I have to do a bit of legwork before. But this is something that I done a year ago, and I just update it now with some new warmers, but it doesn't take me long. I updated it today because I've got an online party on Thursday. So I had to take out certain things that have now discontinued and make some new notes for things that are now obviously in the catalogue. I come off the live feed and I, no joke, one after the other, really, 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 really quickly, I post the image and a little bit of blurb. Don't write this much, people won't read it. I write this much, just a little bit to capture their attention with the picture, and then move on to the next one. I don't do warmer, because again, there could be people that are on there that are thinking, oh, actually, I wanted to look at something for my kids. Or there could be someone thinking, well, I've seen the mini warmer plugins and that's all I'm interested in. And if you're just posting the same thing, again, you're going to lose them. With an online party, it's all about keeping them engaged. The moment someone is a little bit bored and goes off to make a cup of tea, you've lost them, and that's it. And they're not going to be ordering. So you have to keep them interested. And I think by posting in really quick succession, like literally, I mean, I post one picture, I then go into my album, I post the next one. They come one after the other, like straight away, so they can see it all. And I say to them, as before I've gone on to the pictures, while I'm on the live, I say, if there's anything I post, I'm not going to see your comments straight away, but be commenting, and the things you like, comment on there, and then everyone else can see. Because again, if I've then posted, I don't know, the mother of pearl, and 4 of them have commented on there, all the others are going to see they've commented on the mother of pearl. People get FOMO and they're like, oh my God, all my friends want to buy that, I want to start commenting on it. And again, it just gets people engaged, it gets people talking. And I literally I don't post everything, because again, I'll lose people. So there's absolutely zero point trying to throw the whole catalogue and throw Scentsy up over them, because you're just going to lose them. But I pick like the things that I think are going to engage the most. So 4 or 5 big warmers. Mini warmers, I just do a mini warmer post and just pick my favorites. I do one on the kids, another one on the fragrance flowers, and a few others in between. I then, once the pictures are finished, I put my final picture up saying, I'm coming back on live in 2 minutes. Be ready to ask me any questions. I then get straight back on the live feed, and I literally almost hand it over to them. I'm like, okay, so what did you think? What was your favorite? What did you like? So they start talking, because if there is anyone sitting on the fence, if they're seeing all their friends going, oh my God, well, my favorite was the Nova. Oh yeah, my favorite was this, my favorite was that. It gets them engaged. And I know the thing that everyone says is, Yeah, but it's a bit difficult, isn't it? Because they can't smell the wax, which is what everyone always says. If they can't smell the wax, how do they know what they want to buy? And I actually address that when I then come back to answer the questions. And I actually say, okay, for everyone that's thinking, how on earth do I know what I'm going to like? I say, then ask me, tell me what smells you normally like, and I will be able to tell you what you will like, because Scentsy literally have such an array of different smells. So if you like floral, tell me. If you have a certain ingredient that you like, if you like jasmine, if you like this, if you like that, tell me, and I will be able to pick exactly the type of smells that you like. And again, that then makes them feel special, because then they're like, oh, she's literally going to personal shop it for me. And then people leave it in your hands as well. And then they're like, well, actually, yeah, this one and this one smells nice. So then I say, well, do you know what? You might as well get that in a bundle of 3, because then you're going to get it cheaper. And they're like, oh, okay, well, you know best, you do it. And then I can upsell to every single person, because they're trusting me, because I've told them I can pick the perfect smell for you. When I also come to the end of the party, it's almost like the elephant in the room that loads of people go, oh, I feel really awkward asking people about ordering. Don't feel awkward. At the end of the day, they know that that is what the party is about. So talk about it. And the way I talk about it is I always at the end say, thank you everyone so much for coming. Whoever, I don't know, oh, like Emma's, like had a great time. Thank you for having me, Emma. If you do want to order, anything that you order goes towards Emma's party total. So hopefully we can get Emma loads of freebies. And I know she's got her eye on the Nova. She'd love to get the half price. Any orders that go through, it's going to go towards her getting this half price. And people then are like, oh, okay, so us ordering benefits our best friend, not this Scentsy consultant, because people can be like that and they can be a bit funny, can't they? And so then in their head, they're like, well, this is helping our friend to get loads. So actually, I am going to put that order through, because I quite liked that mini warmer bundle. So yeah, I'm going to get it, because then it gets her that for half price. So I just address it and I just talk to them about it. It's, if you become a bit like, if you want to order, then just let me know. And then it becomes awkward. People are there to order the same as they would be in a real life party. So don't like shy away from it. By the way, do you like that I wrote all these notes and I've literally not looked at one, one single note? So I really apologise. I just spurt off when I start talking about online parties. So let me just quickly check if I have actually spoken about what I said I was going to speak about. I think I have. I think without looking at them, I have actually covered it. But I think with the main thing with online parties is don't overthink it. Like literally don't overthink it. Just be you. I get excited, still to this day, I get excited telling people about my warmers. I get excited when I switch the Nova on. I'm like, oh my God, look, it looks like a firework. And this is that's literally what I'm like when I'm on my online parties, because if you try to be salesy and you're like, this is the Nova and it's £61 and this is the Illuminate and it's £61, people won't engage with you. Whereas if you're like, oh my God, I absolutely love this because X, Y, and Z, it's like you're talking to a friend. And it's like when you're talking to someone about a Netflix program, you're like, oh my God, you have to watch so-and-so because it's amazing. They want to listen to it. Whereas if you were trying to sell a program to them, they'd be like, yeah, whatever. And they wouldn't be interested. So just be you and be personable. And honestly, I promise you, online parties, you can be wrapped up with an online party within 1 hour. And I love partying in real life, don't get me wrong. But I've never got as much PRV in a real life party as what I have in an online party. And I do wonder if that's because, I don't know if anyone's like me, but I can be on my phone at home on ASOS and I'm like, yeah, add it to basket, yeah, and that, and that, and that, because it doesn't feel like I'm shopping. I know that's a ridiculous thing to say, but it doesn't really feel like you're spending money. And I'm more inclined to just buy it. Whereas when I'm in a physical shop, I'm a little bit more like, and I'm with my friends and we're chatting and then we lose what we're looking at and then we go off. And I sometimes found within my real life parties, everyone's having fun and it's amazing and I love the atmosphere. But sometimes people get distracted chatting to their friends and then they forget to put their order in or whatever. Whereas on an online party, you've captured their interest for literally half an hour to 45 minutes. And they're like, yep, I want that done, move on. I'm now going to go and sit and watch Netflix. And it makes it easy for them. They're not committing to going out for 3 hours to a party. They're just there watching you on their TV at home because they're at home anyway. And the final thing I'm going to say is don't just look at an online party as a PRV boosting opportunity, like it is, and it's an absolutely incredible one. But actually, from all the online parties I've done last year, I have got so many new teamies, which I know quite a few of them are on here tonight. And that to me is one of the best things that's come from that, because they have been there and they've watched me having fun and enjoying the online party. And they've then seen what their friend, the host, has got from it. They in turn have then booked an online party and they've gone, that was really, I'm not saying it's easy because our job isn't easy, but like Laura said, it's simple and I've kept it simple. There's no airs or graces to it. I'm just me, and I'm not doing all these special games. I just keep it simple. And they're like, well, actually, I think I can do that. And I've had quite a lot of people join my team going, could I do that? And I'm like, well, of course you could do that. And it's gone to join conversations. They've gone on to join my team. So not only has it brought me the PRV, but it's brought me amazing teamies as well that have come from it. And the first thing they've done is gone, I'm going to do an online party. And to see them say they want to do an online party straight away is amazing, because they've thought, well, she done it, and she didn't do anything special. She just talked to us and rabbited on for half an hour. And so it then makes them realize that they can do it as well. So honestly, if you've got that fear of doing it, I promise you get over that fear, because the buzz you have after you've done it is just incredible. And if Tina Farrow is watching tonight, because she messaged me today, Laura, Tina's in your team, isn't she? She says she's got an online party. And I said to her, trust me, you will be super scared now, and you will get off that online party and you'll be, I remember going into Pad and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And literally like loving every second of it. So yeah, anyway, I could talk about online parties forever.
She's like, she was a caterpillar when she died. She's a beautiful butterfly now. She'll be absolutely fine.
I love it.
On that, there's a couple of questions in the chat. So,
oh, sorry, I totally didn't look at the chat. Went off on a tangent.
Lisa and I have obviously answered some of them, but these are obviously directed to you. So, Kirsty's asked, do you share the prices on everything on the pictures, or just if people ask you, just tell them the prices?
So, I don't put the price on everything. The first post that I do, my first post that I do, I've got to say this, I always share the £36 warmers, first of all. So I share the alabaster and the love warmer, because again, people have got that preconception that everything's really expensive. So I've shown them the beautiful warmers, and I haven't said anything about price when I'm showing the beautiful warmers on the live video. Then when I post, the first 2 images that I post are a £36 warmer. So again, they've just seen those beautiful ones and gone, oh my God, these are amazing. And then they've seen me post something that's then £36, and they're like, huh, yeah, this really isn't as expensive as what we thought. I then obviously do move on to the other ones, but I don't literally with every single one put a price, because I don't want it to seem salesy. So I do it quite sporadically, because I kind of think with some of them, you can tell they're my favorites. And the post I've done is just a super excited, oh my God, the crushed diamond, I have this in my bedroom, I absolutely blooming love it, blah, 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 and I haven't put a price. Whereas others, you can see that I'll be like, oh, the extra core is like one of our classics, blah, 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 £36. So I do, and I mix it up, because I don't want every single image to be a carbon copy and for it to seem a bit stagnant with the same kind of wording with each image. Does that help? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It does. Your
how many half price?
I was like,
oh, was that did my internet crash out?
It just literally for a split second. I was like,
oh, sorry. Oh, that one's just gone. I think someone said, how many half price do you give I give them the host everything. If they've done the party, and that is their credits, that's for them. And oh, actually, this is a really important thing. Sorry, Laura, before I forget. The next day, I will put a post up on that party page to say thank you to everyone that's come. And I then thank everybody that has ordered. And I say thank you to XYZ. There might be 10 people on that party page, and 6 of them might have ordered. And I then post thank you with all of their names. Thank you for your orders. I'll be putting the order through tonight. And then those 4 that didn't order go, oh, I haven't ordered. And I'm not calling them out on it, like totally not. I don't word it in that way. I make it very nice as I say it. But that prompts them people to then order. And then the following day, once the host has chosen all her stuff, and this is what has got me all my repeat online parties. Every time I've had an online party, it's led to another 2 leading on from that. Because the next day in the party page, I say, thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I'm so happy to say that Emma got all of the favourite things she wanted to get. She got, and then I list absolutely everything that she got and say how much it came to, and say, so that is, she saved herself £150. Literally, the minute I post that, I will get messages straight away from some of the guests going, can I have an online party? And it gets me my next ones straight off. So I tell them how much credit she got. On one of the parties, the host had like £120 worth of credit. And when I posted that, literally everyone in her party then messaged me to ask if they could book a party. So I think that's really important to make them realise. And I posted also on my page afterwards to say that so-and-so had an online party and this is what she's got. So people can actually see that they've just had to sit in their homes and watch me rabbit on. And they've then got themselves like £200 worth of goodies for like £50 or whatever. So that's something that I do as well. Sorry, I've gone off on another tangent.
No, that's right. There's one thing actually that's relevant to both online parties and home parties before we move on to the next section. Somebody asked at the beginning and said, you know, when you're talking to people and say, do you want to earn your warmer for half price? They said, what do they do if they don't get to that half price? what you're actually saying to them, obviously, when you're having your conversation is, do you want the opportunity to earn your warmer for half price? And then obviously that's host, it's working with your host and explaining to them, you know, these are the things, these are the host rewards, you know, and it's working with your host. If they're going to want to get that to half price, they're going to invite their friends, they're going to be talking about it, they're going to be following up. Same as an actual physical party, it's no different. If they don't quite get to that, then, you know, you don't have to close off that party. You can say, you know, here's my website link, share it with your friends, try and get it up over the next few days. So it's obviously, it's like anything in this business. It's about managing your customer expectations and be open and honest with them. This is the host rewards, but come on, we can do it, you know. And it's about, they're going to feed off your vibe. So
definitely.
There's one other question that come up there. Steph's asked, would you charge everyone for postage? I use my perpetual reward every single time, because you're going to check out of that party, use your perpetual reward, put in a mini warmer, half price, shipping's covered.
Yeah. What I also do, if I've got people, say if I'm doing an online party and some of the guests are really far away, when they're ordering, I'm really honest, and if they say, well, should I order through you or through the website? And I always say to them, look, you have two choices. You can order direct through me, or you can order direct to the website because you're not local to me. Yes, you will pay shipping, but I'll then send you out a scent circle or wax bar or whatever it is to accommodate them for having paid out the shipping. And 9 times out of 10, anyone that's not local to me has gone, oh, well, I'll just order on the website. And I obviously give them the party host link so that the party host still then gets the credits. I've not had to worry about posting anything out to them. And then I always would send a little thank you pack with then a scent circle and loads of samples in it. So then they feel like they've been treated as well, as opposed to then working out the postage, or like Lisa says, obviously you
They all order on your website. You've got your details, haven't you, for follow-up as well. It's brilliant. So
yeah, exactly.
Girls, we're going to have to move on because we've already been on
sorry.
an hour.
Come back to any questions in the group afterwards, Kat.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, Lisa.
We can talk about parties all night. I'm going to leave sample packs and join packs because I think we can put examples of those in the group, because I think otherwise we're going to be here till about 11 o'clock.
I know, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's good. I love it. I was watching all the questions. I think so many people, they want that tangible training. And Laura's done a really good training on online parties, and we'll get that shared in the group. I want to book you in my group as well to come and talk about online parties at some point.
Awesome.
So we'll do a swap. So moving on from that, guys, I'm going to talk to you about the sheet that I posted today, which was from another superstar director called Stacey Bounier. She made this quite a while back, and this is going to really lead on from your networking. So everything tonight has been about growing your customer base, getting more customers, reaching out to new people, growing those circles. And it's so, so important that you're in a continuous circle where you're bringing in new people to, you know, smell the goods, because hopefully they're going to become a new team. And especially all those people that are partying that Laura and Laura have talked about tonight, every single one of those hosts, you should be asking to join your team and offering the host join kit as their credit, because at the end of the day, that's their friends that they invited to that party. So therefore, if they can get an order over £245, they can do the job of a party, of a consultant, even if it is just once a year. Because remember, they only need to put in one active order in 12 months now. And that's really, really important, because you might say, well, actually, you just host that party once a year. Don't worry about doing orders any other time. And you can continually stay active, put your own orders for yourself, get cash back on your orders. So that's something else to think about. But I want to talk to you about leading on from that, other what we call IPAs. You might hear them in the business called an IPA. An IPA is an income producing activity, things that are going to make you money. There is a lot of stuff in this business that makes you no money whatsoever. And I think actually the more Laura and I spend time together, the more that we realize we don't do a lot of the fluff and we do a lot of the IPAs, and we don't do all the fluff because actually the fluff is very time consuming, and the fluff is the stuff that makes it complicated. And this business is all about simplicity. So the beauty of this is it's been put into 3 different columns for you. So if you haven't printed it off, I will just read them out really quickly. Things that are going to actually make your business boom, okay? Personal development, reading books, going on trainings like you're doing right now. This is going to make your business grow, okay? If you take action from the points that are made tonight. It's no good sitting here listening to all this training and then basically doing nothing with it. So, you know, go and book your parties, go and advertise your parties, take the plunge, go and do it. Following up with your customers. We've talked about that in other trainings, messaging them, asking them how they're getting on, whether they need more wax or do they want to book a party, or even just asking how are they. Handing out samples. So we have got examples of our sample packs to show you. We will photograph them and get them put in the group, because sample packs are something that you need made up all the time to be offering to people, okay? Offering to new people, to bring them into your business. These actually, 9 times out of 10 for me, will bring in an order, okay? They're better than my borrow bag. My borrow bags are not successful. My sample packs are. And it's all about the follow-up, following up with people and making sure that you're handing out samples in return for contact details. Party booking, we've talked about tonight. Handing out basket parties or borrow bags, making up a basket full of all the different products, all the different lines that we do, lending it to a customer, and then getting it back in. How many of you, the first week of this training program, went and got your borrow bag out? How many of you have carried on getting your borrow bag out every single week up to the 4 weeks? Mine are all out. So mine are all doing the work. I need to literally pick them up with their deliveries of their orders and then get them in and get them back out again. So make sure your bags are all out. They're the sort of things that are going to be making you money. Having joint conversations, going live, handing out recruiting packets. So I've also got one of those for you here. This is like a one of my join packets. It basically is a bumper sample pack with all of the join information, all of the kit information that goes in with it, and a free scent circle, because if they're going to join, I always think it's good for them to actually try a proper product. Okay, online parties, home parties, taking orders, upselling, events, fairs, fundraisers, open houses, I know that's difficult right now, referral programs, and delivering orders in a timely manner. Okay, they're all things that are going to get you deliveries. I know that I can't stand when my orders come in. They're literally, I've got a box that's come in today and it's already half in bags already down there, starting to put samples in. And I got home at 4 o'clock and I'm already, bam, I'm on it, doing it, because I need to get it out of my house. I can't stand it clogging up my office. And I certainly can't stand it clogging up the corridor as you come in my house. I'm having building work at the minute. It's already muddy enough. I don't want people's orders getting ruined. I can't stand it. It clogs up my brain. Okay. So they're things that are going to help your business to grow. All of those things are going to make you money. The things that are going to actually help you prepare for those is, these aren't really what I would call money-making tasks, but they are the things that you need to do to prep for those things to happen. And this is like a big thing. Like someone asked me this week about different things that I do for my time management, and this is going to lead me on to that. But this, my preparation, I spend time prepping. So things like personal development, again, like what you're going to watch, I don't ever plan it. I literally go, right, I go through YouTube, I find something that interests me, or if I've got a book that I've bought, I literally pick it up as and when. Normally, when I'm in the bath or things like that. So scheduling posts. So if you don't do it, maybe start just trying, schedule 1 post a day just to see whether you can start to use that. Sample making in bulk. That is a massive tip of mine. I know that we don't all do that, but I bulk sample. Okay? I have all my samples. I literally sometimes I spend a day. I'll own schedules on the loo. I spend a whole day and I literally just put it aside and I'm like, right, that day is going to be my bulk. And they last me for a whole month, literally a whole month. I'm just coming to the end of new season samples, which is perfect because it started at the beginning of February. So now I'm starting to think about, right, what am I going to sample for March? It also makes following up with your samples really, really easy. So bulk sampling. If you do a newsletter, for example, getting that ready the month before, getting your borrow bags ready, watching trainings, order unboxing, ordering supplies, customer mail outs, creating stationery, sending thank yous, and checking the news tab. And then networking and developing, checking out the latest interactive Facebook team group, building relationships with other consultants, developing your brand, and contributing to the Scentsy community. Now, what I love, when Stacey did this, she put like where you should be spending the most of your time. So if you are really stuck for time, there is only one column that I want you to look at in that whole book and that whole thing, and that is this column here. Yes, sometimes we need to do the maintenance tasks, But as we were talking earlier, is if, for example, you don't have time to bulk sample because your life is on the go. Like Laura said this today, and I was like, oh my God, that's brilliant. She said, sometimes I'll be cooking dinner and I'm literally chopping up the vegetables. And then at the end of chopping up the vegetables, I chop up a bar of wax. And then when I print my kids' homework out, I print out the stickers or the bit of paper that's going to go in them. And literally I stick that in while my kids are doing their maths or whatever. And I was like, I love that, because it really is probably how I've worked my business that way for a really long time. It's only since I've had my office that I've had the ability to be able to bulk sample. In all honesty, I upped my sample game when I got my office because I had space for it. So if you haven't got space to keep bulk samples, you haven't got anywhere to do all of that stuff. I used to work out of a Harry Potter cupboard. I'm not actually joking. It literally was a cupboard. If you haven't got space for all of that stuff, then literally you can do it on the go. Okay, it's not completely the most time effective use of your time, but it does still work. There are ways to do it. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about is a couple of systems that are going to help you with your time management. The first one might make you go, oh my God, I'm not doing that. But this is something that I am trying my very best. And Sarah, when I sent this to Sarah, she gave me that I want to be sick face. So this little thing. Why you need to wake up at 5 a.m. Okay. Let's say the average person wakes up at 7 a.m. every single day. By waking up at 5 a.m., you're going to get an extra 2 hours every single day to work your business. That's 14 hours extra a week. That's 728 extra hours a year, which translates to 30 extra days a year to be able to do your Scentsy work. Oh my God, is that like revolutionary or what? It really was me. And that gives you a whole month ahead to start on your competitors. In this business, you need to work like someone is out there is trying to take every dollar from your business, because they are. So your time is absolutely really, really precious. Okay, really, really precious. So that's just one way. If there are some of you that are like, oh my God, I'm really struggling with my time, then try the 5 a.m. club. If your children obviously wake up at that time and they don't give you that time before then you're going to have to look at other ways. And I'm going to talk to you about some of those ways in a moment that are going to work for you. In all honesty, there's no best fit route with this whole time management. I'm not going to lie. When I was asked about how I manage my time, if I honestly told you, if I gave you my full day, for example, when I have a real Scentsy day, some of you might be like, oh my God, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a superstar director, or I don't want to work my business like that. My choice is that I choose every spare minute of my day I put into my Scentsy business. But that is my choice, because I want to make money, and I'm so driven by money that is my choice. My choice is to make samples in bulk. If it takes me a whole day, it takes me a whole day. My choice is to, spend 3 days maybe doing coaching calls. They are my choices, and how I fit it in is beyond me sometimes. But also, in the other essence of it, every single person's time and how they manage their time is completely different. I know that when I've spoke to Laura and Laura about this, we all do things very similarly, but very different. And no day is ever the same for me. I don't have I get up, I do this, I do that, I go and do my Scentsy work. It just doesn't work like that. My head doesn't work like that, okay? My head is literally like a shed 99% of the time. And I don't know how it copes, to be honest.
Can I just add something into that as well? Because
like this.
Because what you have to think is, right, you guys, and I'm not saying you could sit us now and go, you've got an office or you've got this. You've got to think, as your business evolves, your life is going to evolve. So my life now, and like Lisa said, everybody's so individual, but my life now looks completely different to when I started my business. When I started my business, I had 2 children and I was working 3 jobs, and I still managed to build my Scentsy business. I was out partying, I was waitressing on the nights I wasn't partying, I was teaching fitness classes, I was learning choreography. And then, we moved and I had another baby. Dan even said to me today, when I do not know how you used to do this with a newborn baby at home and 2 other children. And he used to leave the house at 7 o'clock in the morning. So, the mornings when we had their lunches at 8 o'clock and everyone was saying, I can't do it because I got to get my kids to school. Hello, newborn, 2 kids to school, and did the lunch on my phone in the car. It is mindset when it comes down to everything. Everyone gets the same 24 hours. Like Lisa said, she wants to work that many hours because she wants the results. I'm it is your business. Nobody's saying to you, you have to do these things. But sometimes, if I used to stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning making samples or doing things I couldn't get done that day because I had a newborn, like you said, that would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I would maybe, and that's because I wanted to, because I knew the results. And it's not just in Scentsy or in network marketing. If you look at people that are high achievers in anything, they put in, they go the extra mile. You might have heard the phrase, go the extra mile. It's not crowded. And there's a reason it's not crowded, because people are not prepared to put in the work. So I'm just saying there's no pressure, but if you want the results, sometimes you're going to have to do things that you might not want to do. But that's how we all have the same 24 hours. Anyway, that's just
100%. I can cross off some of those things on my list. Okay, so just a couple of things. So I have put a couple of like work smarter, not harder systems, if you like, things to talk about. So pockets of time. I invested in a pair of AirPods. I'm not saying you've got to do this, but they were my best investment. And I tell you why, because when, for example, I walk the dog, I've got AirPods in, I'm listening to Scentsy trainings, I'm watching some of my team's lives back, I'm listening to voice notes that I'm catching up on from the day. So you can see something as simple as getting out walking the dog, where there's no kids around me, for example, I literally have that time to tune into something that works. That is working smarter, not harder. I'm listening to all those crazy trainings that give me the fire, that literally I come home and I'm like, Mike's like, oh my God, you thought you just walked the dog. No, I just walked the dog and set my tummy on fire with like literally ideas. So AirPods have been like a massive lifesaver for me. When I do my housework, I've got one AirPod in, I'm listening to trainings. I'm doing stuff like that while I'm actually doing the trainings. Now, while I'm doing my housework, I also, when my phone is going off, I quite often am, cleaning down the sides, voice noting somebody. I've got the little button. This is why I have everybody on WhatsApp now, not Messenger anymore, because you can voice note everybody. I voice note all of my customers. All of my customers know exactly what my voice sounds like. They don't get a text message from me. Why? Because I haven't got time to sit there doing this. So I'm like, right, flip it up. We voice note, and that is just so much easier. So if you've never voice noted your customers, start voice noting. Get your customers' numbers, get them on WhatsApp, start voice noting, because you can lock it in, you can flip it up, and you can talk to them for over a minute without it losing all of your content. And that is like working smarter, not harder, because you can put your phone down, clean the kitchen, reply to your customers. It literally is that is like genius for me. When we swapped to WhatsApp, do you remember, Laura? And I was like, we need to swap to WhatsApp because our voice notes are too long for like Messenger. Okay, so use what's available to you. And this is something I try not to. I used to feel, and this was the same when I was a PE teacher, and this is the same in this business, and I've started to get better at it. Something I used to do was try and reinvent the wheel all day long. I was trying to, I wanted it to make sure that I created everything myself. And I was like, I need to create that. I need to create that. I need to go and do that. I need to do that myself. No, if someone has created a flyer and they've shared it in a group, go and download it, use it. Use that for your mystery bags, or, use that for your Mother's Day bag, or the scent of the month flyers, or use the image sharing group, or the what's the group called, the All About Samples group, that's got them done for you. I don't ever go and recreate my own ones because I haven't got time. I haven't got time to be doing that. So don't give yourself more things to do. Don't complicate things that can be really, really simple. Don't reinvent the wheel. If you can afford to do it, bulk buying is like my best friend. I've started to like bulk buy in, like, I look at my month, I plan roughly what I'm going to be doing. So for example, when it's my VIP boxes, I've usually ordered what I want for those at the beginning of the month, so that I'm literally all ready to go. So as soon as my orders come in and I've got that hour to go and sort my orders out, I can be like, boom, 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 get it all in boxes, get it all made up, get it in my car and get it straight out. So think about that. I've got like literally boxes over there that are made up, like not made up, that are like flat pack, and I've got them hidden everywhere. I've got some behind here, I've got some behind the chest of drawers, I've got some behind the sofa. So all of those types of things, again, it's working smarter, not harder, having things like that to hand, ready to go, if you can do that. Obviously, I've talked about bulk making your samples. This is something that's a really good time management thing, right? And I think we have talked about it, but take photos and literally have them stored in albums that they are ready to use. I reinvent my selfies all the time. Sometimes people have said to me, I swear you didn't have that on earlier. And I've put a selfie up of me with a product. Yeah, it's because I've just reused one that literally was in my selfie folder. If you've got an iPhone, don't know whether you know, but you've got a whole folder that's called selfies, and you literally can go through it and reuse them. So when I've done a workout, sometimes that isn't always how I look that morning. Not always. Sometimes. You can also reuse stories. I don't know if you know that. And we are in a habit of repurposing old posts. So if you've been in the business for at least a year and you go and search your Scentsy group for lunar washer whiffs, for example, and you've done a post on that and you haven't got time to create a post, go to your lunar washer whiffs, search it up, copy paste it, repurpose it, stick it in there. I do it with team posts. I repurposed a post the other week and Tam went to me, how did you find that post? That was from like 2018. I was like, I searched, because you can search by year on your group. So repurpose old posts, okay? Really just make sure you tweak them to make sure they sound right with whatever you're talking about at the time. And then this has really been a big thing for me. And this actually, like, this is something I'm massively working on with myself, is don't try and control like every single situation. I have to now believe that I'm never going to be the organized person that people think I am. Okay. People think that I'm this person that has all my shizzle together, and they think that I've got my time management down to an absolute fine art. I can tell you now, my husband, I have asked him, I said, you need to come and do a live and tell people what it's really like living with Lisa Allwood, because it's manic. Okay. Life is crazy. I'm never sitting down in one place for more than 5 minutes. Because that's how my brain is. Literally, I've got tabs open all the time. I'm constantly having to write things down or voice note myself, because it's always I am winging it. And I know that people don't think I am, because I may look like I'm organized, and I think that's really, really hard. I have to remind myself sometimes that I am winging it, but I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right when I'm winging it, and it's okay to wing it. And that is in my life, in my house as well. And I'm talking about, like, some days I find it really hard to get up, walk away from my lounge to go and make samples or to go and put an order together when Artie has pulled out every single toy, and I literally, it makes me feel, it is the only thing in life that gives me anxiety. I don't get anxiety with anything else, but as I'm getting older, it's the only thing that gives me any form of anxiety. It absolutely, I can't seem to focus if the kitchen's not, and it's not about it being perfect, so I'm far from that person. But I am learning that I am better off being that person, that I need to be at peace with the fact that I'm not that organized person. And the more I'm at peace with that, the actually more productive I am in my Scentsy day. So some of you guys might need to be at peace with that as well. So just saying, it's okay to be that. Okay, the best time management thing that I ever do is brain dump. And I'm going to give you 2 systems which are going to help you with your brain dumping. So, for example, I brain dump. Laura bought me this book. I absolutely love it. And this is not that I'm advertising for her, but the Mrs. Hinch book of lists. And Laura,
I need this book in my life.
And I don't use it.
Look, I feel I need to go and buy myself one now. I need to be in the game.
I don't use it for, I'm probably going to find something in here that I'm like, oh my God, I forgot that. I don't use it for what she uses it for. She obviously uses it for her Hinch list, for like cleaning her kitchen and all of that stuff, right? I don't use it for that. I use it for Scentsy. So in here, I have written down, for example, actually, this was just like clearly, this is like a mixture. Actually, I use it for a mixture of everything, because this one's got like smear test on it, donate to pink, tell everyone, I don't know what I was telling everyone on that day, payment balance, sample pack, start recognition, and rockstar training. So all of those things I had down, and they are my tick list. And whatever I don't do on that day, I move it on to the next day. And then whatever I get done on that day, it's what I call is, and Laura's always taught me this, is as long as you tick one thing off that list, then you've done something well. So as long as you can tick one off, move everything else on to the next day. My list tends to get really, really big, and I often don't get rid of my list, and some things just never, ever come off that list. But brain dumping works really well for me every single day. Dump it down in the morning. It makes my whole day a lot more productive. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about these 2 things briefly, and then we'll let you get on, because honestly, I could talk about this sort of thing all night. The Daily Power Hour. If you've never seen this, I think I posted this today in the group, but if not, this is on your workstation, and there might be an updated version of it because this is probably an older version. So if you have lots of children, or you work lots of jobs, or you literally are like, I don't have time to do all these things that you're telling me to do, then this is going to become like your best friend. Okay. It is a sheet. You can print it, or you can write on it as a PDF, and you can export it into DocHub if you're using Google Classroom like me right now, because I've learned how to do that. Basically, what you're going to do on here, you're going to write down what your top goals are for the day. So let's say, for example, you've decided tomorrow is going to be your Scentsy day, and you want to make samples, and you want to do all the things. So on here, you fill it in, all the information. So what your monthly goal is, you need everything written on here. It then is going to ask you to write down 5 people that you're going to follow up with. So you could plan this tonight to do tomorrow. 5 people that you're going to follow up with. 5 people that you're going to network with. So by networking, it might be that you're asking them to have parties. It might be trying to get referrals, asking them to get sample packs, all of those type of things. 5 people to check in and see how their bulbs are, their products are, how much they're loving their Scentsy. And then 5 people, this is the tough one, to share the opportunity with. And that doesn't just mean posting it on your stories and hoping that 400 people see it. This is 5 actual conversations. Okay, so these are like behaviors that you want to build into your business. If you build those things and you just do those and you don't worry about any of the other fluff, your business will grow if you do that every single day. That is very actually similar to the 5x5 system that I'm going to talk about. So you fill it in. Tomorrow you wake up, you get your power hour ready. Now, the idea of it is called a power hour. You've got 1 hour to get all of those tasks done. Now, if you haven't got an hour, you could split your hour into 4 15-minute chunks. And you can be like, right, I've got 15 minutes because the kids are having break time at the minute, right? In the middle of homeschooling. They're going to go and have a snack, and they're going to watch Peppa Pig for however long or whatever they want to watch. You're going to then do task number 1. You're going to follow up with 5 people. You're going to start 5 conversations. You're not going to text. You're going to voice note, okay? Because it's going to save you a lot of time, and it's going to save you funds. And if you're really clever and you do, hey, lovely, how you doing? What did you think of the samples that I sent you? Did you really enjoy them? You can forward that voice note to all 5 of your peoples, and they're getting a very personalized voice note to all of their peoples, and your follow-ups just took you all of 30 seconds. Okay, so follow up with 5 people. You're going to network. Then in your next 15-minute chunk, you're going to network with 5 people. Then in your next 15-minute chunk, you're going to check in with 5 different people. And then lastly, to finish your day, you're going to share the opportunity with 5 people. You need to get them all done. That is called a power hour. As again, if you build that into your business every single day, it is going to be amazing. Obviously, it's got room for other things on there. Like if you've got longer than an hour, you might spend 20 minutes making samples as well for your order that's going to come in. Or you might spend 20 minutes on PicMonkey putting together a leaflet to go in your next orders, or printing off sample, images or whatever. You can decide how you work that. But that is a really, really good way to work your business. Okay, it's on Workstation. You just search for Power Hour. I've also saved that in the group. It's already saved in there. You literally can download and print straight from there. Okay, so that's one system. That system might not work for you. So there's another little system called the 5x5 system. I can't remember who I got this from. I want to say it's actually from Carla Hunter, but I'm not actually too sure where I got this from. So it looks like so. Monday to Sunday, you can choose 5 of those days, because you've got to have time off. Really, really important that you take time off for yourselves. Really important. Okay, each of those days, you're going to pick one of the things. You're going to do each of these things. So on Monday, you're going to add 1 new contact to your list of 100. So you need to get out there and get 1 referral. Okay. You're going to follow up with 1 person. You're going to update your social media on a focus product. So for example, Cream Diamond might be your focus, and you're going to go and update and make sure that your social media has got your Cream Diamond on it and looking pretty. You're going to have a host, party booking, or a join conversation with 1 person. I would say try and do all of those. And then you're going to do 10 minutes of personal development. So 10 minutes watching a YouTube training, 10 minutes reading a book, 10 minutes, watching a training that we've done in our team group, for example, or that your director's done in their team group. 10 minutes. That's all we're looking for. It's really, really simple. The 5x5 is a very watered down version of your power hour. If your business is very new, the 5x5 system is going to work really well for you because you'll have a smaller customer base to work with. So following up with one person at a time is amazing, rather than if you've only got 20 customers, following up with all 20 of them isn't going to give you much to do for the rest of the week. Okay. Whereas if your business is a little bit more established, you might want to go with the power hour because you're going to be contacting more people at once. I do these, but without calling it a power hour, if you like. I sort of like will sit down and do you know when I do it the most is when I'm out delivering. And as I'm doing my deliveries, I drive past other customers' houses and I get to the next customer's house and I think, while I'm doing that, I'm just going to check in with that customer, you know, like, or I'll come downstairs and I'm just about to clean the floors and it might, then suddenly I'll be like, oh, I do need to check in with Janice. I literally do it while it's in my head. I also like spend time going through my customer order book and I literally go through those people that ordered all on that order together. I'll message all of those people at once because that's how my brain sort of works. I don't have like set things. I just do these things now. They're innate. When I first started, I had to train myself to do these things consistently. And now when people say to me, how do you manage your time? It's not that I manage my time. They're built into me. They're habits. So it takes 20 odd days to create a habit, maybe more. I've always said 20, but it may be more. 20 days to make your habits. Start small like this, and then you naturally will start to follow up with your customers and you naturally will start to have those joint conversations and all of those things in your little pockets of time, because that's how we do it now. And I can see Laura nodding.
I was just going to say as well, this way might work for some people. Like, you've got to make it work so it works for you. Like, if you're the type of person that's like, well, I'm not going to have a power hour, but I can't be organised and get all those things done in one day. Well, then do a system that works for you. Like, I remember when I first started, I had to have, I'm weird like this, even when it comes to my housework, I have set days where I do certain things because it works for me, so I remember. So in my head, I always had follow-up Friday, sample Saturday, I used to call it, sponsoring Sunday, just silly little things that made me remember, oh, it's Sunday, well, I'm going to send some like join conversations out to people. Oh, it's Friday, I'm going to follow up with some customers. Oh, it's Saturday, I'm going to make some samples. Like, do it so it works how it works within your life. So you know then throughout that week, you have sampled, you have had joint conversations, you have followed up, you have done all of these things because you've either done them on set days or, like Lisa said, you've done the power hour. Or make it work within your business and your life so that you're still doing all those things, however it's going to fit within your life.
Yeah. And it becomes that it's all about building those habits. So Kida, you've just asked about an order book. Just briefly, I think it's a little bit of subject, but in terms of, I have an order book, but you should, I know you just said that you normally add straight to Workstation. You need to have an order of some description, whether it's an order form or it needs to be written down in a book of some description, like a paper version for every single order.
I'm a pen and paper girl.
Yeah, that is actually a compliance thing, guys. You need to make sure that you've got some kind, if you haven't got an order form, like, actually I think it is actually in the standards that you should have an order form for every single order. But because if you ever needed to prove your orders and you ever got what's it called, audited. Yeah, you need to be able to prove where all of your orders come from. So it's definitely worth keeping some kind of paper. But mine, literally, like Laura just showed, it's a normal notebook. There's nothing all singing or dancing about it. Trust me, I've tried so many systems. I've tried a paper, I've got a folder in here, which at the time I was like, it's revolutionary. I'm going to do this for every, and I will show you it, because again, there's might be some people that are like, oh my God, like that would work for me. And at the time I thought it was brilliant. Yeah, I didn't carry on using it. Laura, do you want to know
the ironic thing? I actually did a breakout session on this for SFR, and then I did it for about 2 weeks and I never followed up with it. It's a brilliant system. And I did say at the beginning, this is something I'm just trialing, but I never stuck with it. I just stuck with my order book because it works.
I've ordered so many different order type books, and it might work really well for people. You've just got to use what works for you. But honestly, for me, I've tried so many different ones, and I literally now just have a plain old notebook, and I write my customer's name at the top, what they've ordered, how much it's cost, and then I use a highlighter and I highlight it when they've paid. Yeah. Sometimes. Other times I forget to highlight when they've paid.
It looked like this. So basically it was like name of customer, what date they ordered. That was my samples, what samples I'd given them. I can put this in the group, but some people might like, as you can see, it's like it started really, really well, but I find my customers are very regular orderers. I haven't got the hugest group of customers, but they all order regularly. So I was seeing the same names coming up on here all the time. So I knew exactly what I'd sampled them, and it didn't really work for me. But it literally was like, I did have a paid follow-up system. I did give it a good go, another list. But I mean, the big thing with time management is you've got to make this business fit into your life. And I think because at the end of the day, it's got to be, people have got to look in from the outside. Like, as I say, people look in and probably think that I do lots of other things. I don't just Scentsy all the time. And then when they do look in, they think that I'm really organized. That's my show reel. That's what I put out to the whole world, and that is my highlight reel. And if that's what people think, amazing. It means I'm doing a good job and people think that. But I know that there's a very different story behind there. Like, in terms of, I don't feel like I can give you all of the most amazing tips for time management, because I am honest, and I work my business probably a lot longer hours than I should do. I loved it though, because when I spoke to Carla Hunter, she said, you know what? When I was building my business like you are now, she said, I did exactly the same. But she said, my business now is at a point where I can pick and choose my hours. I can work exactly when I want to work. And she still treats it like a business. Like, she does 8 till 2, Monday to Friday. That's her day. So you've got to make it work for you. Don't look at what everybody else is doing and think, I need to do that, because that's, in all honesty, when I put this together, I was looking at what loads of other people were doing, and I was thinking, oh, I need to do that because that's what they do. And you need to be at peace with actually the way that you work your business works for you. And, if you feel like you're giving your business too much time and you're not, doing your other things with your normal life or whatnot, then scale back and find a system that does work, and actually get a little bit more productive with your time, because sometimes it's about that taking action in those like tiny short pockets of time. Use your pockets of time, and that is, honestly, in all honesty, that is how we work our business. So
definitely. And just to add on to that, that's where this list book, and this is why I did buy, I think it's for your birthday or something, or maybe I just bought you it, and this is where the negotiables that are in your day, I literally write things like, so I'm going to read you mine from this morning: simple steps prep, put my food shopping away, 30-minute Peloton, order my friend's jumper for her birthday, a prize that I'm giving to somebody, order Natalie's waxes, go to the post office, put in about a 40 Illuminate, my James Lavelle call. This was yesterday's list, but I literally, like Lisa said, I put everything on that list that I want to get done in that day. And then you have to pick, there's going to be some that are your non-negotiables. So things like, I couldn't have come and worked my business till I put my food shopping away, because it would have all gone off. So brain dump it, because there's going to be things like Lisa said, you have to work your business into your life. So this is why doing this on a morning is going to help you, because you're going to tick off those things that you absolutely need to get done to be able to help you focus on your business.
I would say as well, with the things that I think are non-negotiables within this business, like we've just said, that to be successful, you have to network, you have to have sponsoring conversations, you have to follow up with people. So they're your non-negotiables that you have to get done to have a successful business. They don't have to take long. I could have 4 joint conversations, like Lisa said, on a voice note. It could take me 20 minutes.
Yeah,
I've worked my business successfully in 20 minutes. So you don't have to think, oh my God, my Scentsy needs to take up like 5 hours of my day, so I don't have time to have joint conversations. You do. You just have to work it, like they've said, smarter, not harder, to make it work for you. So I have conversations on my voice notes while I'm putting washing away. The amount of conversations I have with follow-up customers or joint conversations whilst I'm putting washing away. Make it work, fit within your life. It doesn't have to take you long.
I've just ordered. It's really funny. I spoke to Tam on this for ages today, and we were talking about procrastinating. And those that actually know me, that are in my close circle, know what a massive procrastinator I am. Like, I actually laid down on my rug on Sunday and was like, I've come down here to do something, but I'm just going to lay on my rug and enjoy the silence of not having mum and the building work all going on. And I just laid on my rug down there for about 10 minutes, and I thought to myself, I've really got to stop doing this. So we were talking today, and she said to me, I've just read, I don't know whether it's in your book collection, or a book called The Compound Effect. And I've just ordered it, and I'm going to read it. And she said, I've read it in 2 days. She said, and I just feel like she was like, you need that book. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to read the book. I'm actually going to read it. I'm going to give if I just disappear, I literally am going to read it. Have you heard of Eat That Frog? Yeah, I have. I haven't read it. I think it's similar sort of theory. I've got a feeling with Eat That Frog. But I've just ordered that because if you're struggling with time management and you're a procrastinator like me, then maybe you need that book in your life as well. But honestly, that's exactly it. Do the thing you dread first thing. But I think more than anything, that's your biggest takeaway from party or all of these things is exactly as Laura said, work the things that make you money in your pockets of time. And that's the simplicity of it. And don't complicate it any more than that. If you are literally spending 7 hours putting together your customer orders, they're taking too long. That's not going to make you any money. You know, if you're spending 7 hours putting together mystery boxes, it's not going to make you any money. Change something that you're doing. You know, I remember Joanne Davidson doing a task with us once where she said, I want you to add up how many hours you actually really work your business. So if you did this and you were really honest and literally use that list, the one that Stacey put together, the pink one, I don't know what I've done with it. I've managed to lose it already. So if you went on here and just took those income producing activities and add up the amount of minutes you spend on those in a month, for example, and then take the amount you get paid and you divided that by the minutes, when I worked out my hourly rate, I think I was on something like at the time, and it's going to be a hell of a lot more money now, I was on about £200 an hour when you look at it like that. And I will put the income disclosure on this when we put it on YouTube. So when you look at it like that, that's what you've got to look at it like. Are you actually making money or are you
having the conversations to make money? Because we're a network marketing business. It's not about the people that you know now. It's about the people that you're going to get to know.
And it's not about spending hours and hours making something look really pretty. Honestly, I love to put the finishing touches on stuff, but if it takes me too long, like I will never again put pods in and a mini fan diffuser in a holographic bag because that took me an hour. That was a waste of time and a waste of my money.
Or a Christmas stocking.
That took me ages. So they're the things. Advent calendars, if that took you hours, don't do it. It's not going to make you no
That's
money.
exactly why I didn't do the advent calendars, because I was like, you know what, I could get great PRV from this, but I can get great PRV from something else that isn't going to take me half the amount of time.
And a couple of warmers.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what, if I am packing up an order, because I like my orders to look pretty, no matter what the time is, every night I have to watch something on TV before I go to bed just to clear my brain. I have to watch something. So if I'm sat for half an hour, then I pack up my order as I'm doing it, or I'll cut up some wax as I'm doing it, because I'm going to watch TV anyway for half an hour because I need to switch off. So then that's a pocket of time that you can do something. You don't have to say, right, I'm going to spend an hour packing an order. You can say, well, I'm going to be watching Netflix for half an hour, so I'm going to pack an order. Make it work for you if you really are stuck on your time.
Definitely. I think one thing I just want to leave you all with is, sorry, Laura, is that your time is precious and your time can't be bought. And that's something like your time really should be, the reason we do this is so we can have more time with our kids, more time with our families. And, you know, yes, I work a lot of hours because I choose to, but I also still have got time to take my kids out. I've still got time when we go back to doing football, God, it's going to be crazy. But when my life goes back to being normality, watch my hair suddenly go very grey. No, but I will have to rejig my systems and look at what I'm doing. And we adapt, we pivot, and we pivot to what's going on around us. And I think that's really, really important.
Because time is one thing you can never get back. It's your most precious commodity. So you have to use it wisely.
100%. Right. I think we should leave it there because what is the time? Another hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
We even said today, we were like, we're not going to go over. That was me. I just talked too long.
Do you know what? I think it was really good to get the party stuff in there. I think everybody needed that. So if you have got questions, do you know what? We'll pop a thread up in the group just because it's been a long one tonight. Hopefully you've taken lots away from it. If you've got teamies, go back and train your teamies on what you've learned, because that is where the gold is. That's where the nuggets are. Go back and train your team on everything you've learned. And if your team are watching with you, go and have a discussion about it. Any feedback as well, guys. We could have a feedback post. I might put a feedback thread up in the group because I'd love to know that.
Any like challenges or homework this week? I think, as Lisa said earlier, it would just be to, go and action the things we've talked about. Get your parties booked in.
Try a system.
Yeah,
I think try one of the systems and see what impact it has on your week. Go and try the 5x5, the power hour, a brain dump, and work only from this list. Okay.
Maybe try the different ones and tell us what you found the most effective.
Yeah, try them.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Cool. And go and book some parties. Go and fill your diaries up. That is the challenge of the week. Go and fill your diaries up. See how many you can book. Right, guys. Well, take care. See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.